everyone, my name is Jackie Berknes-Gartman. I'm a GI and liver pathologist at Johns Hopkins, and today I'm going to be discussing an unusual neoplasm that occurs in the duodenum, typically in the periampullary region. This has previously been called Gangliocytic Paraganglioma, which reflects its morphology, but has more recently been renamed by the WHO Composite Gangliocytoma Neuroma and Neuroendocrine Tumor, and this better reflects the different cellular components that make up the tumor. So let's go ahead and get started on our case. At low magnification, this appears to be an ampulectomy specimen. So we have our duodenal mucosa at the surface here wrapping around. Underneath of this, we have our submucosa. Our black ink designates our deep margin. And if I go to higher magnification, I can appreciate some ampullary glands over here. So let's go ahead and look at our neoplastic cells. And I'm first going to focus on this area, which has a ribbon-like architecture, and this morphology reminds me a lot of a typical paraganglioma, but in fact this labels more like a well-diff neuroendocrine tumor if we're to do immunostains. So typically paragangliomas are going to be negative for keratin while positive for GATA3, and in contrast, these neoplasms are going to often have keratin expression, and typically they don't have GATA3 expression or have weak expression. So that is one of the differences between this neoplasm and a paraganglioma. And this does label for neuroendocrine markers such as synaptophysin and chromogranin in these areas. So that was our epithelioid component that has neuroendocrine differentiation. And we're now going to go over to a different region of this tumor to appreciate some areas of different morphology. All right, so here's another area that I'd like to highlight, and this area looks very different. We have, instead of our epithelioid cells, we have a spindle cell population here, and if I were to do immunostains, it would be positive for S100 and SOX10, similar to how a Schwann would label. And here I have these really interesting cells that look a whole lot like the ganglion cells you'd find in the GI tract, and these are characterized by abundant cytoplasm, large nuclei with open chromatin, and a single prominent nucleolus. And these would label for NSE and synaptophysin. So that's our third component, which are these ganglion cells. So again, the current term for this is composite gangliocytoma neuroma and neuroendocrine tumor, which reflects this triphasic cellular population. In terms of how these neoplasms behave, they typically behave indolently and are cured by complete excision. A small subset can metastasize to regional lymph nodes, and there are rare reports of these metastasizing to distant sites. So that is our case for today. Thank you for listening.